Good morning and welcome to PFY Live, where we have back our favorite guest of all, Michael Hoffman. Woohoo!
I made it. I made it.
I can't believe a whole month has gone by. I missed you.
I've missed you too. Actually, I was this yesterday. Come on. The clock just goes 10. You're like, come on.
When's she gonna send me the link to go live? Awesome. And okay, talk first about your shirt. Now I see. Are you still using your Cricut?
Are you kidding? I am a Cricut master. I am in love with I've made mugs. This is my company, Positively Outrageous Service. So gotta POS it. I've made mugs for people. We've done plaques, we've done wood, we've done we've done all kinds of things. This is my favorite. My hashtag is love louder, because I think that's kind of our call today. That's the modern version of what Christ has said to us as possible, to his apostles, is you got to love louder, man. They need you. So
absolutely.
Yeah, so I've been making shirts. I actually had, I think I mentioned this last time. I had somebody that had reached out to me. They saw the YouTube stuff and they've been to the YouTube page, and they had said, "Hey, I want that shirt." So, how much for the shirt, dude? I'm like, "Oh, new business."
I was gonna say, I think you get a little side hustle out of this.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I will give shirts away if you want to wear the hashtag love louder. This is not a moneymaker. This is an apostolate, I think, to grow into. Yeah.
It's a great tagline. It's a great marching order for us, right? As disciples.
Marching order. That's
right. Yeah, right. And so we need today. So much we need today. Okay. And then what are you drinking in your coffee this morning? Show us.
Well, Amy, today I've got my mugs, my Papa mugs, my favorite Christmas gift of all time. Papa. This is what they call me as Grandpa. I'm Papa.
Okay.
Four granddaughters. Oh. And we make a little something special for you with love, because it's the love is shining. We got 4 days. It's nice. I've got a little Peru coffee, my favorite.
Oh.
So you got to do the Belgian dip,
Oh my gosh!
Get in there and do it. Get in there and do it.
So you're just drinking it with cream this morning, huh? A lot of whipped cream.
I usually don't, but today you're special, so we got a special.
I've got my Mama Bear mug. Oh, with lipstick on it.
Oh, nice.
And I was feeling kind of fallish this morning. It's been super cold here. I'm in like negative below zero. So I got a little pumpkin spice in mine this morning. Feeling a little fall-like. So
well, you guys are tundra. When you say it got really cold, we actually are in a cold snap that we haven't had in a long time. We've had, finally, the Arctic wind has gotten down to us, and it may snow. It's supposed to. We've had drizzle rain, and so it turned into ice, and so it's down below 30. Ooh.
Oh my gosh!
Okay. No, it is actually freezing. They are saying snow in the next couple of days. So when that happens, we go crazy. Actually, I am not even putting on shoes. I've got my slippers on, and I'm keeping them on, because this is my attitude today. Because you don't leave in Texas. We don't do hard water. We just don't do it. Oh
my gosh! Okay, Sunday it was, I think, a negative 34 here. And yeah, so cold. Like you get frostbitten in, I forget how many minutes it is outside, bare skin. And we love to ice fish, my husband and Eddie and I. And I think the ice, Yogi told me, was 15 inches or 15 to 17 inches. So you can drive on it. So you drive your car out, and then you drill your holes, and we just have a good time. I mean,
you have the hut that comes over the hole.
Yeah.
You have all that?
Yeah.
That's a kind of a dream of mine. One day you have to have me up, and we will.
Oh, come. Oh my gosh. And we need to get a bigger one, because Eddie moves around a lot now, and feet in the hole has happened. I mean, let's just be honest. Yes. So it's fun.
Feet in the hole. My son just got married in December, and they went on a honeymoon up in Colorado, and one of the things they did was they went ice fishing. They said that was the best part of the entire trip, was the ice fishing. And they had a great guy, knew what he was doing. They had a lot of fun. They caught a lot of fish, and all the classic stories: fishing pole dragged into the hole, they lost a fishing pole. Joseph actually had more than one fish flop back in, to the point where he was reaching in and grabbing them before they got away. It was classic stories.
It's so fun. My mom and dad, my dad spear ice fished a lot. And my mom dropped all of the keys in the hole one time. Keys to the house, the cars, everything right in the hole. It went, oh my gosh, right? And we yeah, it's been an adventure, but very fun. We do date nights. Like, let's go ice fishing for a date night.
Oh, that's a blast.
Yeah, we have a good time. You know, you bring something warm in your thermos.
Yeah.
So,
I think it burns as it goes down.
yeah.
Nice.
It's a lot of fun. Okay, anyways, wow, all of that is great. Those of you
Adulting.
Woo! Yes, yeah. So last time we were talking about the secrets of ministry support, and we're going to continue on that vein a little bit and add more to that today. So I wanted to start out, Mike, with just what are some of the positive things you've seen being done in youth ministry as you've traveled the country, and you know what have you seen over the years? I'm not saying obviously this last year you haven't been traveling much, but you know, what are one of one or two things that you have seen like this is great youth ministry being done?
Yeah, well, especially on the topic of support, because I've seen a lot of great programs and stuff. But when it comes to building support, it stands out when you have as a youth minister built a strong network. It really shows, and it shows in your ministry, it shows in the kids, it shows in everything else. And so that word support is tremendously important, and it doesn't happen by itself. So I think, and this is kind of why we talk about this so much, is that your ability as a youth minister, most of us go into youth ministry saying, I want to work with the kids one-on-one, and we want to have special time, and I want to change lives. When in reality, a large part of our job is to create a support system that helps make that ministry happen. So the majority of youth ministry is talking to adults. But it's done right, but when it's done right, holy cow, does that allow you to do what you really want in your ministry. So I'll give you two examples. Yes, for two, I'll give you two. One that I really like is, I love it when I see that I'll go to a parish. We have a parish here locally called St. Anne's that does a really great job of, they've created such a strong support network of parents. Oh gosh, it just left my head what they called them. They have a name for them, and I'm sorry I didn't write it down because I wanted to share that one day. I knew we would, because I just love it. And so they make t-shirts, and not everybody can be in front of kids, nor do they want to, but they want to help. And so what they've done in the ministry is they've created this wonderful network of parents that are the support staff, and they have a logo, and they've got a t-shirt, and they wear it to church, the youth mass right before youth night they have. And so you can see it. It's a distinct color. It's a distinct logo. And what's really genius is that the youth minister, when they're making the announcements about what's happening tonight in youth, all the kids are there, they're constantly pointing it out. And one of the things they point out is it's not just, hey, these people are working and they do this and this for you, but this is also the prayer team for you. So they've created a support team that is marketed to the kids. That's my big tip. It's not only are you getting people to help you, but you find creative ways to tell the kids that people are working for you, and they're praying for you, and they're going out of their way to donate time for you. That I love, because I have had kids mention more than once over the couple of decades that that had as much of an impact on them that adults they didn't know would go out of their way. Yeah. And I love that. So creating a support team, but also marketing it to the kids on occasion. It's not, heavy, but it's known. And then when they see the visual, they don't have to be reminded, they just get it. And that's just genius. That's smart. That's awesome. I also will throw an idea in that I really like, and that is I love all adults that have a heart for the youth to pass on their faith, because statistically we do have that gap. And it used to be, we hear this all the time. It used to be that in high school we get, up through those growing years, we get exposed to a faith, and then you're going to go away in college and you're going to come back. Well, they ain't coming back. And that model is gone. That model doesn't work anymore. So the experience of our faith is tremendously important. So I have a heart for all adults who want to help. And I really have a heart for the men who want to help, because we all have an example to give. And whether you're a man or a woman, you have an example to give about living your faith. But I think it's tremendously important, especially in the formative years of high school, that you foster gathering as many men to come help as possible. Just because that witness of men and women together, this is our faith. It's not lopsided. It's no. If you are an adult, you live your faith, and we want to show you just by coming and helping and doing that. And sometimes it's easier for, I mean, God bless, I have never known a woman in my life that didn't have a heart for kids that wouldn't immediately step up. The guys have got to be prodded a little bit. They've got to be grown, and they've got to be asked, and they've got to be ushered in. And so one of the things that I really see it's not that one's better than the other, but for some reason men have to be fostered a little more to be and have a place and a role in youth ministry. And it has such an impact of that balance that I cannot recommend it enough. That for youth ministers is, yes, take all the help that you can, and God bless the women, they're always stepping up, but don't not go after the men. Yeah. Because you need that balance, and that witness of that community coming together is loud. And when I see that in across the country, I see a vibrant, dynamic youth.
Yeah.
Those two tips.
I think that's an excellent tip, Michael. And talk to me about a little bit deeper, maybe there's a youth minister listening or will be listening to this, and maybe she's a new youth minister, and she's like, okay, can you give a tip or two on how to engage that man in the pew? Like, is there a way to a specific way to invite them? Is there, what will draw men into your program to volunteer?
You become the hound of heaven, and you go after them viciously. Well, first of all, understand this, that to make any change in our lives, I mean, think about this. We are doing our life, and we're in our little life rut, and we're in our life rut, and we're living our life. And in order to get out of that rut and to do something different, and I don't mean the rut is bad, it's just this is the things that I've set up for my life. It's the way I do things. It's my Wednesday. It's my, I go to work, I do this. So we all have our life rut that we're in. And this is a sales concept. This is what salespeople do. In other words, people of persuasion. So let me give you a tip. In order to get out of that way of doing it, I'll call it a rut, and do something completely different, like volunteering your time on Wednesdays when you had your Wednesdays already planned, or your Sunday nights, or whenever you guys are getting together, you have this thing already in life already done. And in order to get somebody to change, takes emotion. It's all about emotion. It's rarely logical do we change gears in our lives. It's always, you cannot move without emotion. Growth is very emotional. There's breakage involved. There's tearing involved. Even on a cellular level, in change, we're ripping things apart on a cellular level. Very emotional. So with that in mind, know that when you're talking with people, men or women, it's helping them understand the impact, emotional, that they have in giving their time, even if it's picking up muffins, even if it's coming and just being present. Yeah. It's helping them understand their role. So when you ask people to do things, just don't give them the task. Connect it with the why. Mm-hmm. This is what I need, and this is why. And it's that emotional element in your ask that helps people find that emotional chutzpah to jump out of the rut and do something completely different. So as a person of persuasion, connect the whys more, especially people that I've already, they're in life and they're going to do something different. And I really can't emphasize, I said it as a joke, but I can't emphasize enough that you have to go after them. Yeah. Because I'm assuming that everything's taken care of in my life. Because you know why? Because I've got my own tornadoes in front of me and I'm dealing with my own stuff. So if you have a need, you have to put it in front of me. Yeah. And you have to do it more than once. Don't get offended if I don't say yes the first time. Be that scriptural story of the persistent woman. Finally, the judge goes, "All right, I will do it." Yeah. Debbie, God bless her soul. She was our youth minister that when I came to our church, currently St. Catherine's, she was a master. Matter of fact, the team that she built, she passed away from cancer at least almost 10 years ago. But her legacy of those people that were involved are still there. This is the first time I'm not a full-time minister at the church. This is the first year. And we've even gone through, other ministers, but the core group that she built is still there. And these guys don't even have kids in the program.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's another tip is don't think that I have to have a kid in the program to come and help. Yeah. We have lots of parents that never had kids in the program, but they found their ministry, their place in the church, because there was a strong person that says, I need this, and this is why. Yeah. And if you can help me, start them off slow if you have to, but ask.
And that actually leads into a little bit of our next topic of how you communicate, right? Communication skills are so valuable in any walk in life, in any, career, vocation. What would you have for some tips, just as, tips in the area of communication, or how to improve my communication skills? And this would be not presenting in front of a large group, but this is like talking to a potential volunteer, or talking to my core team, or communicating with the office staff, via email or in conversation or on the phone.
Okay, you just gave a laundry list of
I know.
topics. We could go down this road forever. This is my area of expertise, is communication. And when you throw out a topic, give me how to be a better communicator, and then you give topics. Presentation skills are different. I'm not gonna talk like this when I'm in front of a person on the phone. So it's the writing is a communication area, one-on-ones, coaching. So we got lots to talk about this. So I'm gonna start off with a little foundation for y'all to think about this week or this month until we get back together again, Lord willing. The creek don't rise. And that is, there's a thing called, we all have an IQ, right? IQ stands for intelligent quotient. In other words, we can measure how my brain evaluates information, uses information. It's my IQ, how I learn. But there's also an EQ. There's actually a few Qs. But one of the most important Qs that you can build in your life is your emotional quotient, your EQ. And that's really the people stuff. That's where you could have people that, I know lots of people, and I think I'm one of them, that their IQ may not be through the roof, but they've got a very high EQ. And maybe those people that can be in front of a room and they own a room, they're working, or they can, or an individual, or you walk away from those folks going, I just love talking with you. Well, it's not their pheromones. They're doing things and saying things that have impact. And so when I bring up emotional quotient, I want you to think about the skill sets of communication, which are the skill sets of people. And really the foundation is based in our faith. And that is, it ain't about you. It's not. It's always from the heart of our Christian faith. It's our entire approach is always about, what do they need? What do they need? What do I have to do? What do I have to not do? How do I have to say it? How do I have to repeat it? How do I have to present this in a way that has impact on them? Which means I have to be constantly thinking about what's needed in this situation for them. So with that in mind, and with that approach in mind, the first place I start when we talk about communication is we have to have a heart for people. And the reason why you might think it's a no-brainer, it's not a no-brainer. And I'll tell you why, because psychologically, we're always focused on us. It's natural. We have things to get done. We have deadlines. We have things our pastor has put upon us. We've got, I got some meetings coming up. And so we have our agendas that we are driving. And so we have a tendency to be us focused, which is good because you've got things to accomplish. But to accomplish those, you need to be them focused. How do they need to be talked to, reached out to, connected with, emphasized, set up for success, celebrated, so that I can get what I need done? Make sense?
Yeah, makes complete sense.
So the foundation is, what do you do and say that has real influence from their point of view? I want you to start to pay attention to it, because the things that you do are really amazing when you're on, but we don't think about it. A tornado takes us into another direction so fast. So you may be saying things that if you didn't pay attention, you should have noted that, because how you took the time to really set that up you should pay attention, because that really worked for them. They needed the why more. And I don't know what you saw that made you go, okay, let me take a moment and really kind of set the stage here. Or when you were writing that out, you paid attention to that first sentence, that first paragraph, because they need you to be more professional than flippant.
Mm.
In this situation, it needs to be more professional than it needs to be personal. Or you're getting way too busy, way too business first, and you're not making a personal connection.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's those things, what's needed in this situation, that starts to get you to say, communicate on purpose, communicate on purpose, communicate on purpose.
What are one of the things I should look for when I'm having a conversation with someone? And it doesn't have to even be a conversation of I'm asking you to volunteer, just a conversation. What cues can I get from the other person that either tells me my communication is sinking in and it's working, or they're not even listening to me anymore, right? Or I am not making a connection? What kind of cues can I look for in the other person to help me to really be paying attention and communicating on purpose?
Yeah. It's called paralanguage. Paralanguage is everything that surrounds your words, right? So when we talk, you can watch this video, watch this podcast again, and you're going to see our faces reacting when the other person's talking. So when you're talking, we react because that's natural. It's
right.
These are called guttural affirmations. When someone goes, mm-hmm, oh, mm-hmm. That's our body naturally showing I am listening, I am paying attention. We give our nonverbals, are classic.
Yeah.
So in fact, we're more effective in the nonverbal sometimes than we're not. So you've got the classics of, this doesn't necessarily mean I'm closed off. Could mean I'm cold because it dropped to 30 and we're very, very cold. It's a tundra. It's the storm of the century.
I'll send you a wool blanket.
Yeah, thank you. We don't do hard water in Texas. But the thing is that, this doesn't necessarily mean I'm closed off. It could mean I'm cold, but it could mean I'm closed off. It's called neurolinguistics. There's a lot of things that we do. If I'm not confident in what I'm talking about, I touch my mouth. Subconsciously, I touch my mouth. My eyebrows go up when I'm inquisitive or when I'm interested in what you're saying. So there's all kinds of things that you can do. You don't have to get into neurolinguistics like that, but you pay attention. Are they buying in? Are they not buying in? But I will tell you this. One of the biggest secrets as far as how can I be a better communicator, it goes back to the thing that I said is the foundation, and that is being them focused. So here's a little tip when it comes to being more persuasive. Okay, when you're being more persuasive, and that is, it's how I feel about me when I'm around you.
Okay.
So it's not about you, the presenter, or you, the asker. It's not how you feel. It's how I feel when I'm around you. And I love that definition of trust. It's not how I feel about you that makes me trust you. It's how I feel about me when I'm around you. I think that's a foundational issue when it comes to being persuasive. I want you to feel very confident in you and the reason why I'm asking you. So I'm going to let you know through my words, through my face, through my energy level, through my through how I'm doing this, that I want you to know that you are very important to us. So I throw that in my words. I emphasize the whys. This is what I need, and this is why I think you're the perfect one for that. Let me know. Those things, getting into connecting with them as a person. So verbalizing your whys, verbalizing how you feel about them, verbalizing the impact they would have on this. All those things, them, can make you more persuasive when it comes to, helping people get on board and go, yeah, I can help. I can do that. And then ask multiple times, and look for the verbal cues. Look for the nonverbal cues more. Are they into it? Are they not? Here's a tip: watch their feet.
Why their feet?
This is too neurolinguistics, I think, for this group. But this is the type of stuff I do. When you're at a cocktail party and someone doesn't want to talk to you, watch their feet, because you're like, they're in front of you and their feet are cockeyed. They're not facing you.
When they don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, exactly. I want out.
Oh.
I'm out. Subconsciously, they're saying, awesome. This is really great. No kidding. Really? No, seriously. Okay. All right.
Oh, that's so funny.
Sure.
And I bye.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to dovetail off of this. So I think it's something we do unconsciously. So I want to just share a story of little Eddie. Like he has a little etch a sketch and he brings me it. And I said, oh, what do you have on there? You know, he had drawn on it. He goes, oh, it's an angry man. And I'm like, well, tell me why it's an angry man. And so, oh, well, here's his hair and here's his face. And then he goes, and then here are his eyebrows, Mom. His eyebrows were up when like in this, you know, little TP like, and I'm like, oh, fascinating, right? And then he, that was just so interesting to me. Like he's so observant of my facial expressions when I'm angry. I must look like that, right? But he often asks me, oh, Mom, do you love me? And so the other day, I mean, it's frequent. And I said to him, why do you ask me? He goes, because sometimes it doesn't sound like it. So I said, can you demonstrate for me what it sounds like when I love you? Can you, and yes, right. A 4-year-old. And so he says, I love you, like in a high pitched voice. And I'm like, so when I say, I love you, he goes, yeah, that's not right, Mom. Like he felt some disconnect in my words and my tone, you know, and stuff. So it was just, I mean, it was so eye-opening to me, like just, and that a 4-year-old senses that already, right? And feels that already. As adults, we do the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So important. Yeah, so important.
Even more so.
Oh my gosh. So we're down to our last 4 minutes and we haven't even like scratched the surface of this whole topic of communication. Okay. I want to take this next question first next and we won't get to the rest of this, but okay. So I'm a big, you know, I'm a recovering perfectionist and control freak. I know this about myself and I oftentimes don't delegate because I know what, either I can do it better myself or I've had a history or there's been some times that I trusted someone who I delegated to and then it didn't work out right. So what about communication fits into this idea of delegation, right? So we're talking about bringing a team together and I'm going to delegate to them. What's important in the area of communication related to trusting delegation and that what you need delivered will happen?
Yeah. Okay. In our short time, because we can start this next time, but let me throw in some thoughts. One is set expectations clearly, and that is what needs to be done, and maybe even the communication if it doesn't. But this is what's needed, and the whys. This is what we're trying to accomplish. So if I'm handing something off, the expectations of what has to be done should be as clear as possible. There's no fog. And that's really the biggest tip when it comes to volunteers is no fog. A lot of times we throw out concepts as to what you want done. And then when they don't do it in your head of the way it's supposed to be, but you didn't give them any specifics. So set expectations as clear as you possibly can so that they know what you want them to do. Right. And that includes timing, and that includes any expectations that are needed if things aren't going the way that you wanted them set up. So if it's not, then let me know type of thing. This is it. That type of delegation is sort of I need you to go to the kitchen and get the box and do this. But however, if you want a strong team, you've also got to empower a team. Right. And empower a team, setting expectations is this is what I would like to accomplish. And it's not the chair goes here and the box goes there and the screen goes there. It's more of the feeling, the what we're trying to accomplish. When the smoke clears, I want them doing this and feeling this. Help me accomplish that. And I delegate. Delegating means you have to let go. And it means you have to work with what they do. And if it's not to your expectations, then that's a coaching situation. It's not a failure. It's just next time, let's set expectations as to what we want to. So you get clearer and clearer and clearer. That's how you grow your people. Yeah. So there's two types of things. One is if you want them to do very specific, be specific in your setup. So it's all about setting expectations. If you're trying to empower your people, then give them an idea of what you're trying to accomplish and then let them own it. Yeah. And then set up how you want to communicate if things are having some challenges.
Yeah.
So it's all about the setup, the pre-setup that gets your people to be confident. Remember, volunteers, we want them to be confident and competent, which means we become a coach. And that's setting, if this is the boundaries, we're not the Pope. We don't do everything, right? So we have boundaries. But if I've got strong, confident volunteers, they live right here. Boom, boom, boom. And they're stretching what I even ask them to do. They're going way beyond. That is a sign of a confident, competent volunteer. And that takes setting up. That takes doing things. When things go well, we celebrate. When they're off, we coach them to be better. And we build confidence, competence. And then you don't have to run everything because you're a control freak and you need to let go. I'll tell you why you need to let go. You need to let go because you can accomplish much more when there's more than you. Jesus had 12 apostles. It wasn't Jesus knocking on the doors.
Right. And there's oftentimes more than one way to get the job done, right? Just because I've done it this way myself for this many years doesn't mean that's the only way to get a job done. And it could be done even better than I envisioned it to be done. So that communicating that and empowering them. I love where you made the difference there, making that different point. So our time is up for today. Oh my gosh, it goes always so fast. So next week or next month, next week, we could do this weekly.
Let's do it.
Okay. You want to come back next week?
I do, every week.
Okay. We can do next week. Let's, we are going to talk about, you know what? We haven't finished this communication piece. I think we need to delve some more into this. We definitely had some more questions we wanted to dig into on communication. And then we're going to talk about some celebration as well, which is in that vein of communication. So, why celebrating is important. Celebrating successes, big or small, is important. So we're going to talk about that too next time we meet. So thank you everyone for being with us today. And those who are listening to this podcast, not live, share this with your friends and family and other people in ministry. Definitely use Michael's hashtag love louder, right? Love louder. And Partnership for Youth hashtag too when you're sharing this. We appreciate that. God bless you all. And we'll see you next week. Bye.